Coming in March to Patreon, my steroid Olympic wish came true. The Hub might get blocked in Canada, and exclusives every week to add to the massive back catalog. Support The Habit at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. A lot of people like to consider rap and country as complete opposite ends of some sort of musical spectrum. But they actually share a lot of similarities when you think about it. Both talk a lot about drinking. Country singers discuss their love of beer and whiskey, while rappers share their affinity for expensive champagnes or cough syrup and Sprite. Both are advocates of the Second Amendment, in their own ways. Both often lie about their upbringing. Tons of rappers claim to be from the streets when they grew up in the suburbs, while country singers love to tell you about the small towns they came from, that were 10 minutes outside a big city they spent most of their life in. And of course, country singers and rappers both love to use the N-word. And so, perhaps it's in this spirit that Beyonce, my birthday twin, decided to try her hand at becoming a country music singer. Come on, you know I had to do it. Her latest single is called Texas Hold'em, a country song that has very little to do with Texas or poker.
This ain't Texas, ain't no Hold'em. Cards down, 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 down. So park your Lexus and throw your keys up. Stick around, round, 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 round. Stick around.
A great start to the country tropes, referencing Texas, which is where she grew up, but she spent a much larger part of her life living in either Los Angeles or New York. And then, with the exception of referencing a Lexus, which apparently might literally be product placement, Lexus is our official tour sponsor. The whole song really feels like someone checked a box of stereotypes for making a country song. Acoustic guitar and banjo? Check. Outdoor cricket noises in the background, even though the song has nothing to do with being outside at all? Singing about whiskey and dive bars? Boy howdy. She also says the word hoedown, which the last time she would have said that was in her Destiny's Child days when Kelly Rowland tripped during dance practice. Ha ha! Heyo! And then my favorite part, there's inexplicably a Def Leppard reference.
And I'll be damned if I can't slow dance with you. Come pour some sugar on me, honey, too.
If you're gonna do a song with a gambling reference and mention Def Leppard, you're missing a real opportunity not to also throw in a joke about one-armed bandits. Just saying. Now, as you know, there aren't very many black country artists, and even fewer that began their careers as country artists, that didn't pivot there after starting their career performing in a different genre. Darius Rucker, originally the frontman for 90s soft rockers Hootie and the Blowfish, is probably the most famous modern black country artist. He recently got charged with drug possession though, so I guess he's a rapper now. But you'd be surprised how many black people, or rap fans in general, like country. Going back to that idea that they're two opposite ends of a spectrum someone made up. Back in my working days, I did this all-request radio show, and people, mostly from Texas, would call and be like, "Hey, can y'all play Chamillionaire?" People loved writing, and we'd have rules about how much rap we could play in an hour, so I'd say, "Sorry," because I'm Canadian, "I can't really do that one right now, eh?" And they'd go, "Oh, well, in that case, put some Big and Rich on." So this isn't that wild of an idea that Beyonce's fans would also enjoy some country music. But it does seem a little late to the party. Lil Nas X had a hit with Old Town Road in 2019. It took a major black artist 5 years to finally go, a novelty country song on my own could make me a couple bucks too. Maybe that was intentional, like Beyonce felt she needed to create some distance between herself and Old Town Road so people wouldn't go, she's just copying Lil Nas X. But it has indeed made her some money. The week after it came out, she landed at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the country chart. And to prove it wasn't just a fluke, some curiosity clicks, a week later, she took the top spot on the Billboard Hot 100. Which some folk haven't taken too kindly to. John Schneider, who you will not remember as Bo Duke from the late 70s, early 80s TV show The Dukes of Hazzard, because you're not 50, was doing an interview with One America News. I guess Scott Baio was busy that day. Scott Baio busy. I know, absurd. But anyway, they asked John about the song. Actually, this was the question from the host. The lefties in the entertainment industry just won't leave any area alone, right? They just have to seize control over every aspect, don't they? And John Schneider said, they gotta make their mark, just like a dog in a dog walk park. You know, every dog has to mark every tree, right? So that's what's going on here. And of course, immediately Twitter screamed, racism, saying he was comparing a black person to a dog. And I don't know, maybe John Schneider is racist. Though I'm sure he'd tell you some of his best friends are Candace Owens. But come the fuck on. Context matters. He wasn't calling black people dogs, he was calling liberals dogs. I don't know if that's better, but let's maybe take a step back from shouting racism at every single thing online before it loses what little meaning it has left. But what's funny about this whole thing is that it was only, a month ago? That Ben Shapiro teamed up with Tom MacDonald to stick it to the libs by trying to get a #1 on Billboard with a rap song, which by the way they failed, but they did get to number 16, which is pretty high for an independent rapper and a podcaster. So that's fine. A conservative trying to get to #1 with a rap song. That's based or something. But a liberal trying to get to #1 with a country song? One that, by the way, unless you really reach, like a Cirque du Soleil performer trying to lick their own taint level of reaching, has no liberal messaging whatsoever. It's just a cornball bullshit song about a drinking and a dancing. Well, I guess what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander, which them libs are probably trying to transition into a goose. But man, as a society, we are in a rough fucking place if that's what we've decided. This type of music is for conservatives only. That type of music is for liberals only. We're gonna make sure next year at the Grammys there's a country musicians only water fountain or what? I don't know, but the last remaining shred of optimism in me would like to suggest that maybe millions of Beyonce fans would hear this and go, wow, this actually is pretty good. I never listened to country before because I thought it was stupid, but this is fun. I wonder what other country songs I might like. And then they'd check out Morgan Wallen and Luke Combs and Zach Bryan and Casey Musgraves and Kane Brown, and a rising tide would raise all ships. This would benefit the country scene as a whole. Of course, then the cynic in me spits that last shred of optimism into the nearest mud jug like so much chaw and says, nah, she's probably doing this because she saw how fucking popular country was all last year. Morgan Wallen having the #1 song of the year, Luke Combs clocking in at #8, and she wants to cash in on that trend. Where was Beyonce on that year-end chart last year? Number 29? Behind 8 country songs? Yeah, that might make a person consider jumping on a bandwagon and hopefully not getting dysentery. But if you consider yourself a real country fan who is upset about this, you can take some solace in the fact that any money she makes, she'll have to at least partially split with the 6 other people who wrote and produced the song. And that doesn't include other musicians, including the woman who played the banjo and the viola on it. Fucking Hank Williams didn't need none of that shit. He got a #1 with Your Cheating Heart all by himself. And he didn't need to promote it at no fucking woke-ass Super Bowl. He was fucking dead when it came out. That's how good he was. Is that it, country fans? Does Beyonce have to be dead before you'll respect her? Actually, don't answer that.